Mic test, mic test. All right. Sorry for the delay, folks. A couple of technical difficulties there, but we got it running. Mic test, mic test. All right. Sorry for the delay, folks. But we got it running. All right, let's just hop right into a game. All right. Welcome everyone to late night number 80. Again, apologies for the delay. Right now, we're taking a look at. Let's see here. I believe it is Zach Roy against Ignacio A. Zach Roy, if you're not familiar with him, probably know him as the one and only Senior Doom. Looks like it's Mew VMAX against Lugia V-Star. Again, two of the best decks in format. I believe this is already game 2. We jumped in a little bit late there. But Zach is leading the game up. He is up 1 game on Ignacio. So if he's able to close it out, and it's very interesting, he's playing a Drapion in his Lugia list. I believe he's playing Lugia with Pikachu VMAX, Flying Pikachu VMAX. Let's double check that. Yes, Lugia with Flying Pikachu VMAX against Ignacio's Judge Mew. So control style Mew here. Zach is looking like he is up. He's up 3 prizes to 4. He has an Eviltal almost ready to go, and a Drapion in the active. It's pretty. Based on the board state, it looks pretty close to checkmate. Looks like Ignacio here will be able to take 2 prizes off the Drapion, but if there's enough energies on board, Eviltal should be able to close it out, because unfortunately Ignacio can only attack with a 3-prize Pokemon, and since Zach is down to his last 3 prizes, things are looking good. Unless, of course, Ignacio gets a... Let me just double check here. He is playing 1 big Parasol. If he still has access to that, now is the time to find it. He has 4 Genesects in play. There's the big Parasol, exactly what he needed. Forcing Zach here to find their lost vacuum. And if they can't find it, they're not going to take this knockout this turn. They do have a big hand here, but we know for a fact, since we can't see Zach's hand, there's no big Parasol just yet. They do have access to Marnie, so I'm sure something Ignacio is going to be looking for right here is going to be a disruption. A way to disrupt this giant hand, for sure. And with 4 Genesects, you just have to guess. You know what? They're going to find everything they're going to need here. Hoping Mew doesn't draw into a specific card they need is not too good for sure. Because, you know, Mew VMAX, again, with the Fusion Strike system, able to refill their hand as many times as they have Genesects. But not only that, they have access to Forest Seal Stone now, which allows them to essentially have a half a Starbirth so that they can search the deck for anything they need. Or, you know what? If you're feeling lucky, play the Cram-O-Matic, flip some heads, and, you know, take whatever you need anyway. Ultra consistent deck, for sure. If you get to set up. Looks like they did Ultra Ball there, discarding a Silene and the boss's orders just to really thin out the hand. They need to find... There's a Forest Seal Stone. If they have access to Raw Sand, now is the time, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to draw 1 more card here. Unless, of course, they've already played a supporter and I missed it. Again, we'll just have to see. No, it's just going to be a Technoblast. So So Zach here has access to everything in their hand. Unfortunately, no. Looks like they're just going to go ahead and promote the Lugia V-Star right off the bat. Oh, with the V-Guard energy. Could prove useful. V-Guard energy effectively making this Lugia V-Star into Lugia V-Max. Adds one more powerful energy to the mix. So now the win condition is Choice Belt. If Lugia V-Star here can find themselves a Choice Belt, they are doing 310 damage since there is no Oricorio on play. See Evolution Incense there. You see Zach just really thinning out the deck, giving himself the best odds to find what he needs. He does have Luminion if he opts for a bigger draw supporter, but it's going to be a Marnie here. Something I didn't quite check if... And unfortunately, looks like it's not quite there just yet. But we do find ourselves a Path to the Peak. So Lugia V-Star with Path to the Peak themselves. Very interesting. And of course, we're not going to be discarding that. Saying Path to the Peak now shuts off every ability on Pokemon V. That means those Genesects are no longer drawing you cards. And something we have to check. Oh, but we do bump the stadium. There's the Lost City. I have to check Ignacio's list here. They are playing an Echoing Horn. If they can go Echoing Horn, Gust, Switch, it's a lot to ask for. Crabomatic's a great start. Discarding Crab, they do get heads here. What are they gonna find? There's a lot of pieces to the puzzle, and definitely a lot of pieces of the puzzle they need here. They also play 4 cross switchers. What are their switch out options? I believe there's no other way to... Oh, there's one switch. So they do find themselves a Mew V here. 1 power tablet. I wish I could count the power tablets that are in Ignacio's discard pile here. Because if they can get all of them, all the power tablets plus a switch, that is going to be it. There's a boss's orders. So they could potentially take a knockout on the Eviltal. They had the Choice Belt. They would have been close. They would have been close to taking a knockout on Lugia. The next question is, do they have the Switch? So a great way to close this game out would be to Psychic Leap this turn. If they can go ahead and... Oh, but if they Psychic Leap, that only leaves them with 1 Mew V. So the fact that... Yeah, the fact that Ignacio doesn't win this turn, it's looking good for Zach. Yeah, no matter what scenario here, because he does have the boss's orders in hand. But let's see what Ignacio can surprise us with. But no, there it is, a victory screen. Could not find the switch. Congratulations to Zach Roy here, or aka Senior Doom, for progressing to top 4 of tonight's late night series. Let's go ahead and check on the rest of the games here, but congratulations again to Zach. Give me 1 second. Let's hop back to the desk real quick while I find you guys a game. Again, absolutely amazing game. I'm a little bummed that we only caught the tail end of it, but you know what? It's not the last time we're gonna see from Senior Doom, because again, he did make it to top 4. Cannot wait to see how far this man goes. All right, let's go ahead and check on... I believe this game is still up. Give me 1 second while I set things up here. This is... We're going to check out Jonathan Patricio against Istark 11. Don't go anywhere. Right here. All right. So this is still a top 8 match as well. Istark 11 up 1 game to Jonathan Patricio. And, oh boy, very interesting decks we have here. Well, Istark here playing the, Lugia V-Star. Best deck in format, so expect to see multiple Lugias in top 8, especially in a bigger tournament like this, right? And he is up against Jonathan Patricio playing Vikavolt with Aerodactyl V-Star. And looks like Aerodactyl V-Star got to do Aerodactyl things. Again, if you guys aren't familiar with Aerodactyl V-Star, it does have the Ancient Star V-Star power. For one colorless energy, you're able to, well, it's a colorless attack. Sorry, it's a V-Star attack that reads, until this Pokemon leaves play, it gains the ability that your opponent's Pokemon being played except Aerodactyl have no abilities. That means Lugia V-Star here can't find his friends. He cannot find those Archeopsis. He cannot Summoning Star. So things are gonna get a little tough, especially if you're under item lock as well. So it's ability lock plus item lock. You're playing old school Pokemon. All you're doing here is evolving, attaching energy, not turbo anything out. And that might just be enough to slow down the Lugia deck. I mean, sometimes Aerodactyl by itself, that's enough to deal with Lugia. If you add in the fact that you're item locking your opponent, oh boy. All right. But again, I think it's just a matter of time. Something of note though, Istark does have a Lugia almost powered up, right? They did it the slow route, but sometimes slow and steady could win the race. 3 energies now on that Lugia V-Star. One more attachment should be enough to take a knockout on the Vikavolt. Definitely puts pressure here. Ooh, great play here though by Jonathan, since the Dunsparce had 50 HP after a paralyzing bolt. You know what? I'm going to use a Zigzagoon to take that prize. That way, you promote something a little bit more awkward. Looks like the awkward promotion there is going to be the Oranguru. So Jonathan here should be safe to just paralyzing bolt once again, because there's no way for Istark to really get a attack next turn. Oranguru has two retreat. It's going to take a double turbo energy to take that retreat. And he can't attach multiple times because there's no Archeopsis in play. Could be tough. We see multiple energies here on Istark's hand. Did Primate Wisdom 1 back into the deck, but one way to shuffle the deck is going to be the capture energy. Since you don't have access to your ball searches, capture energy is the next best thing for sure. A deck search that does not revolve around items. All right, we do see the capture energy getting attached there to the Lugia V-Star. Something of note as well. You know what? That Lugia is ready to go. So if there's a DTE in the near future, that Vikavolt could go down with that many energy, which would be absolutely huge here, because Jonathan doesn't have anything else powered up at the moment. Although that Lugia V-Star now, this is the question now. Is it worth breaking the item lock, right? That Lugia V-Star on the bench looking very, very scary. That's going to be able to take a knockout on your Vikavolt unless you're able to find a cape, for example, to increase the HP on the Vikavolt V. I'm double checking if Jonathan plays... No. So no capes here on Jonathan's side, I believe. So that's just 210 damage. That Lugia is ready to go. It's ready to take a knockout on that Vikavolt. So picking up this Zigzagoon there, dropping the Raikou, getting a backup attacker, very, very important here. And again, the next question is it worth breaking the item lock to just deal with this Lugia in the next couple of turns, right? Looks like we're going to see a Melanie here. So next couple of turns it's going to have to be, because you can't boss and Melanie at the same time. But that the Raikou is now ready to go. So even if this Lugia gets to attack, oh, big cross switcher here as well. Never mind. That Lugia is not going to be able to use all of those energies that it's been able to power up. I guess Istark in a very, very bad situation here. I'm sure they are absolutely heartbroken. That's in Lugia that they took 4 turns to power up. No Archeops is in sight. No energy acceleration there. It was attach for turn before the attack, and that just might be it here. Luckily, this is still game 1, so there is still a big chance here for Istark to make a comeback. And again, it's Lugia, right? The name of the game is if Istark can set up, if he can just get a couple of Archeopses in play, even just one, I believe, could go a long way. And again, he's up against a deck that gives up multiple prizes. Lugia is not a bad attacker into that, and he has access to stuff like Radiant Charizard as well that can take easy knockouts against Jonathan. So it's not out of the realm of possibility here for him to be able to set up Lugia's, especially if he gets to go first. If he gets to go first, he has access to items at least 1 turn, and he's in no real threat of getting ability locked as well going first. So he has that window of opportunity to set that up. I think this is one of those scenarios. If this was a time match, you definitely just scoop it up. You know what? I'll do better. Game 2 and game 3. And there we go. Looks like he's going to opt to go first here. Congratulations to Jonathan winning the first match of top 8. Very, very big here. Again, players are playing for a very, very prestigious prize. Winners of you're winning points towards the late night invitational, which again nets you a trip to Japan. What online tournament? What online tournament can you play in where you can earn a trip and stay at Yokohama, Japan for the Pokemon World Championship just here on the late night? All right, here we go. This is going to be game 2. Jonathan against Istark. Vikavolt against Lugia. Let's see how Istark fares again. Be 1 second. All right. So, again, Istark able to go first here. Gets the Ultra Ball, finds the Archeops. Already looking good. They can at least guarantee 1 Archeops this next turn. If they go Ultra Ball for this Archeops, Ultra Ball once again, finding the Lugia V-Star, that guarantees it, right? That guarantees at least the Lugia V-Star. It looks like they're going to opt for the Luminion here instead. Could be scary again, right? If Istark doesn't get the Lugia V-Star this next turn, I fully expect Jonathan to be able to item lock this going first, right? That's what his deck is built to do. That's why he plays 4 copies of Melanie, multiple copies of Vikavolt, and all that to really facilitate the turn 1 item lock if you're going second. And with Celebrations Mutant active, with the Mysterious Tail ability, able to look at the top 6 cards, find yourself an item, find yourself a piece of that combo. Looks like they were able to grab a Quick Ball there. Let's see what they Quick Ball for. If they discarded energy, there's a Water Energy. So they could grab Vikavolt here. They have Melanie in hand. They are an attachment. So right now they need Melanie, Lightning attachment, and a way to retreat just to get the item lock. It's not that hard. We do see the Melanie. Energy has been accelerated. 3 extra cards now in hand. We see a second Celebrations Mew, maybe still looking for a couple of pieces. maybe they don't quite have the energy. There's the scoop up net, so I believe they're missing the lightning energy. So Celebrations Mew needs to find themselves maybe an energy search if they could find it, or even one of the or the Forest Seal Stone, for example. Forest Seal Stone at the moment before rotation still is considered an item card, so it is still searchable by this Celebrations Mew. But come rotation, once we hop into a Scarlet and Violet format, there is going to be a rule change where tools are no longer items. They are going to be their own subset of cards, just like supporters, stadiums, and all that. So Celebrations Mew not going to be able to find that. Mew here finding the Ultra Ball, drops another Mew. They could go with finding themselves maybe Radiant Greninja or Crobat V to just really draw them more cards here. It's going to be the Crobat V. Again, Dark Asset ability time and time again has shown itself to be a very, very useful Pokemon. The ability to just net you more cards, help you with that setup. Absolutely invaluable there. They're going to go ahead and bench the Luminion. Probably to no effect, just to thin out the hand. Going all in on this Crobat. Dark Asset for 4. Are they going to find it? It's going to be... They're going to need the switch. They do get the attachment. It's going to be the Speed Lightning Energy. Let's nest them 2 extra cards. Do they have the switch here? Cross Switcher as well. That's a switch. You get the Dunsparce to the active as well there. Doing Paralyzing Bolt, 50 damage. Back to Stark. Can Istark find themselves the Lugia V-Star? Not that hard of an ask. However, you can't use any of your ball search. There's the Lugia V-Star. Do you go for it now, though? I believe here? Do you go for it now? You wait a turn? No, you're going to go ahead and Summoning Star. Oh, there's 2 Archeopses. Just like that. I thought there was only 1. But Istark is looking good. Item Lock not going to slow this man down. That Lugia V-Star is going to take a knockout. Accelerating a powerful energy and the V-Guard energy there now onto that Lugia. And the second Archeops free to accelerate energies to the Dunsparce just to pay for the retreat. And just like that, Lugia doing Lugia things. We're going to see a Tempest dive here, 220 damage. You saw how much it took for Jonathan to be able to do that combo, right? To do the Melanie into Vikavolt, attach an energy. He's going to need to go through all of that another time, because that Vikavolt, I'm sure Jonathan was hoping would stick for another turn. And unfortunately, it didn't. And even if he gets the Vikavolt up, Istark doesn't need any more items. He has Archeops. At this point, all he needs is an attacker right after this Lugia. And he should be good. So I'm sure Jonathan here looking for his other outs, right? What else can he do? Something I'm sure he would love to do is find himself a Zigzagoon, knock out the Dunsparce on the bench, giving Lugia V-Star, again, that very, very important lightning weakness. Maybe setting up the Raikou V instead of the Vikavolt, because Raikou V is going to be able to deal with the Lugia V-Star for only 2 energy, just like the Vikavolt. Yes, it's not going to be item lock, but you are going to take a big, big knockout there, and you're just going to have to hope that Istark's not going to be able to set anything up, but looks like going to be a Melanie there on to the Luminion. Not the ideal attacker here. Jonathan doesn't play double turbo, so that Luminion is not going to attack at all. Definitely not the ideal target for Melanie, but sometimes you just need that draw 3. And it's going to be a quick ball there, but it's definitely looking like Istark able to bring this back. There are times where you can just look at a board state and you can realize that, you know what, from this position, it's going to be very, very tough for me to lose. I just have to play it right, play it smart, use the right cards, make sure I have enough resources and With that, again, you're able to find the Ultra Ball here. Use a Quick Ball instead. That's a lot cheaper. Find yourselves another attacker. It looks like it's going to be the Raikou. Raikou able to take 2 prizes off something like the Mew and Mew, for example. Or you can go ahead and gust up a Luminion. Either scenario works here. I might be worth to go into the Raikou V, actually. To save the Lugia V-Star to take a knockout on any of the 2 prizes. That should be coming up very shortly. Or, yeah, you can just go ahead and Serena up the Luminion. You can still go into the Raikou, right? Luminion is weak to lightning. Raikou will do enough damage here. And that's exactly what's going to happen. Lugia is just going to retreat. We're going to see an amazing shot. 120 damage to the Luminion. Times 2, 240. And 120 to the pivoting Mew. Leaving Istark with 1 prize remaining. I don't quite see how Jonathan can come back from this scenario. And it's just going to be... He needs to take 5 prizes, as well as taking a knockout on a Raikou, while leaving a Pokemon that can take a hit from a Lugia V-Star. I don't like the odds here. So I believe this is going to go into a Game 3. But let's not count Jonathan out yet. I mean, they're able to make it here into the top 8 of the late night number 80 with over 200 participants, right? So there's a reason why he's there. Let's see if he can. Surprise us. A lot of times people find unconventional ways of defeating Lugia. That's why we've seen, for example, the Infestation Dreepy, the Fusion Strike Infestation Dreepy. I would never have thought that was a way to beat Lugia, but that definitely is. If you can find yourself a way to get something stuck in the active, that is a way to beat Lugia for sure. They typically don't play any switch cards, but I know Istark here does play something like Bird Keeper, so even that's not looking too good. So maybe Jonathan here, maybe just taking its time. You know what? I want to think out my strategy for Game 3. Ditto V, a very interesting card, has the ability to turn into any Pokemon V on the discard pile. Ooh, okay. I guess here's a window. Here's a window. There's gonna be a cross switcher into Lugia V-Star. You have to pick up both Mew and the Zigzagoon, right? Or play Manaphy. Let me double check. Is there Manaphy? There's no Manaphy in Jonathan's list, so that Raikou V, yes, it's gonna take a knockout on the Lugia V-Star, but you know what? I'm gonna match Raikou for Raikou. We're going to see amazing Raikou come into play now. Yes, Raikou probably can't deal with his older brother, Raikou V, but can definitely hit the bench for 120. But we do see the boss's orders here as well. Just taking an amazing shot, taking an extra prize. Istark ties up the series 1-1, and we're going into a Game 3. Here we go. Here we go. Again, it is... Give me 1 second. Yeah, we are going to a Game 3. I just wanted to double check myself, because the late night board wasn't updating. Oh, no. That was Game 3. Do excuse me again. My late night. Was it? It says Istark 1. Give me 1 second here. Yeah, I believe, apologies, chat. Looks like Yeah, Istark was able to take that win against Jonathan. My mistake, my my late night bracket wasn't updating there. So congratulations to Istark. Fake hype there, but we're going straight into top 4. It's going to be Istark against David Hendrickson. David, I believe, no stranger to top cut in the late night. It's going to be Lugia V-Star against Lugia V-Star. While the other side of the bracket, it is Kobe Kawasaki against Zach Roy. Something funny there on the other side of the bracket. I believe both players, Kobe and Zach, from the Pacific Northwest. I believe they go to the same local game shop, something I frequent to as well. So very interesting that they meet each other here at the top 4 of the late night number 80. All right, we have a Lugia mirror here. I'm just studying a couple of lists. So Istark versus David Hendrickson. It's funny, both players do start out with their respective Luminions. I'm trying to see if there's any difference at all, if this is the exact 60. Sometimes in these Lugia lists, are you familiar with spot the difference? Because it's always very minute differences, right? Sometimes it's one player plays more bird keepers, sometimes it's the split between their bosses orders. You see 2-2 or 3-1, like two bosses orders, 2 Serena, 3 bosses orders, 1 Serena. Maybe you're playing a different an extra speed lightning, or maybe you're not playing the speed lightning, your capture energy counts and all that. But their list's looking very, very similar. I think it's literally just one card off. And it just goes to show, this Lugia deck has seen its time in the limelight, where players have been able to find probably the most optimal 60 by now. Off 1 or 2 cards. Like whenever you see a Lugia V-Star, you can fully expect to find yourself a Stoutland V. You expect to see the amazing rare Eviltal, amazing Raikou, unless of course you're playing the Flying Pikachu variant. Sorry, I'm still trying to find the difference. But yeah, it looks like, let's go back to the game here. It looks like David's gonna be the first one to get into Lugia V-Star. Okay, you know what? As much as you probably know your Lugia V-Star deck by now, it's always worth to go through this specific scenario, right? The Lugia V-Star mirror. If you're bringing Lugia V-Star to a big major event, which you probably are, right? It's one of the best decks in format. You can guarantee to see some results if you play this. Almost guarantees you see some results if you practiced with the deck. If you're playing Lugia V-Star. But you have to fully expect to run into this specific scenario where you're gonna run into the mirror, right? So what better way to learn about the mirror than here at the top 4 of late night with 2, I'm sure, masters of the Lugia V-Star. So we're about to see a master class here, and something I was just about to say, yes, David is going to be the first one to get the Lugia V-Star off. However, they're only hitting into an Oranguru, right? That's only 1 prize. Is that worth putting up like your Lugia V-Star in harm's way, where then you'd be giving up 2 prizes, and maybe then your opponent is just at even prizing? But David here playing it absolutely smart, promotes the Luminion to take that knockout on the Oranguru, not only getting rid of taking a one prize knockout while conserving your energy, while getting rid of a liability, and increasing the consistency of your deck. Great play there by David. Again, it's just one of those small details that can sometimes win you a game for sure. And we're gonna see Istark now promote their own Lugia V-Star. But right now they're only taking a knockout on a Manaphy, right? They're only taking one prize as well. However, they do have a quick ball in hand, so they could potentially take a knockout on almost anything they want. And something that we could see happen here is they could potentially take a knockout on something like an Archeops. If you're going to take one prize, it's going to be more ideal to take one prize on something that, on the engine of your opponent's Pokemon, of your opponent's deck there. Is it worth it? Or you could take a knockout on the Lugia V-Star. You can't because of the V-Guard energy on the Lugia V-Star, effectively giving it 310 HP. You're going to need a choice about to take a knockout. We do find a V-Guard energy for ourselves here. We're going to use the Quick Ball. Do we have another Luminion? There it is. That's why we see Lugia players now playing 2 copies of Luminion. And here's the choice. You know what? You have a no-card hand. Are you going to go for this draw supporter? Just go ahead, take a knockout on the Manaphy. Or if you take a knockout on an Archeops, for example, it guarantees your Lugia survives a turn. Yeah, we're gonna see the boss's orders here. Yeah, by taking out one of the Archeopses, that means the Lugia V-Star on the bench won't have enough powerful energies to take a knockout on a Lugia V-Star with a V-Guard energy. So that Lugia V-Star is protected. Yes, you're going to a 0-card hand though, but I think that could be worth doing. And we're going to see it. Boss's orders on the Archeops, getting a more targeted knockout, 260 damage. Gets the professor's research off the prizes. I'm sure that's something Istark is loving right now. I know there's this online debate at the moment about checking your prize cards, but maybe that's one of the scenarios where, you know what, checking your prize cards is big, right? Maybe Istark here determining, you know what, I have a couple of supporters prized at the moment. I can go to a 0-card hand. There is a 1 out of 6 chance I could draw myself out of this, plus my top deck. Worth the risk if it's gonna mean debilitating my opponent. Now back to David here. Does get double powerful plus the heat fire. Goes for the Serena. So they're going to take 2 prizes here. Takes the knockout. Back to Istark. Again, David technically in the prize lead. Top deck's a supporter anyway. So Istark was getting out of that scenario no matter what. Big research here. Unfortunately, can't find it. If they're able to draw into a choice belt, they would have taken a knockout on this Lugia V-Star, which would have been absolutely huge. But missing this knockout, this Lugia V-Star, able to take a hit, could prove very, very scary here. Because that means David could potentially go down to 1 prize very quickly if they have another way to gust here. And we know for a fact they still have Luminion in the deck. So a Quick Ball, an Ultra Ball, that could just as quickly turn into a boss's orders. All right, we do see the Quick Ball here. Setting up the Eviltal. And my mistake. I was thinking this Lugia V-Star was going to survive the turn. Totally slipped my mind that amazing rare Eviltal. You know what? Deal with absolutely anything on the board. And I think dealing with a Lugia V-Star is 100% worth it here. Amazing destruction. Again, very hefty energy cost, but 100% worth it. Takes the knockout. Now David has to find a way to deal with the evil top. Again, only one Archeops. Only one Archeops, absolutely debilitating. Means you have to accelerate to your attacker. Something he needs to find here is potentially the Charizard, the Radiant Charizard, because that can attack with 2 energy. Then you can attach the Archeops to retreat. That's something you have to do here. Because, yes, you can... Oh, you can attack with the Archeops, actually. It does 120 damage, just enough. And then find yourself the Radiant Charizard to close out the game. Because David here, again, is down to 3. He is in the lead. Since it is his turn, he should be taking a prize this turn. He would be 2 prizes away from winning this game here. But again, David, thinking about his options, does have the Ultra Ball. It's going to be tough. It's going to have to be a natural attachment to that Radiant Charizard. Discards the Aurora energy as well. Very tough discard there, because again, he has to find the Radiant Charizard. There it is. There's a Radiant Charizard. He has to attach manually to the Archeops and accelerate to it. Gonna be a Marnie. Let's see what they get. There's an Evolution Incense, just thinning the deck. Again, they have to accelerate to the Archeops and then manually attach to the Charizard this next turn. Something they have to count is the amount of powerful energies, right? Because something Istark could do is just boss up the Charizard, for example. If that seems to be the threat. However, again, the number they have to hit is 180. That's 3 powerful energies on the Archeops, just in case. But there it is, 120 damage now onto that evil top. Ooh! And gets the attachment on the Charizard. Like this play, accelerate a DTE and the powerful colorful energy is going to be 120 damage. Back to Istark. Again, yes, Istark can get rid of... Istark can get rid of all the Archeopses from David's side of the field, but just because that Radiant Charizard is there, there is the possibility here that David wins this game. You're going to see the energy acceleration there onto the Lugia V-Star. I'm trying to think of a way, if there's a way to play around the Radiant Charizard. Don't quite think there is. There's the boss's orders. That was definitely a way if they had that earlier. But it's going to be a Tempest dive here to the Archeops. It's do or die here for Gallade Drag. But again, 4 cards in hand. Do they have the guts? All they need here is Serena or boss's orders. Promotes the Manaphy. That signifies he probably doesn't quite have it. You would have promoted the Charizard right off the bat if you had the boss. Attaches the DTE. Does the professor's research here? Oh no. Gets the choice belt. Wait, that's knockout. Radiant Charizard, Combustion Blast, 280 damage onto the Lugia V-Star. Absolutely huge. Yes, Lugia V-Star had the V-Guard energy, but Radiant Charizard's not a V. Just like that, David takes the win there. Absolutely huge. Again, choice belt making all the difference. In my mind, I was like, you know what? Off a 4 or 5 card hand, and with still potentially 2 Luminions still in the deck, the odds are you do have a way to find that Luminion. You have multiple ways to find that boss's orders, but it's not the only way you can win, as we saw earlier. big research, because again, if they didn't take the knockout right there and then, Istark did have the boss's orders to deal with the Radiant Charizard, and from there, I think there's no real attacker, especially without any Archeopses in play, to finish up the game. So huge congratulations to David for playing that one absolutely smoothly. Let's see now if Istark can bring it back. Istark having a little bit of an awkward hand. They do get the capture energy for the Lugia. Guess there's not that much else you can ask for besides maybe a couple of Archeopses in the discard pile. We see there the Archeopses in the deck. Finding themselves Lugia V Star again, just Lugia V again, just going for a quick deck check. And from here, I believe they just pass. There's nothing else they need at the moment. They have the Lugia V Star. They can sit pretty. Hopefully, maybe they can top deck into an Archeops, make their life a little bit easier next turn. But we'll just have to see. Back to David here. The aim of their game is going to have to be set up 2 Lugia Vs. See the Primate Wisdom coming up. Probably, if I had to guess, just putting back a special energy. They don't want to discard a little too early. Finds the Evolution Incense. That means shuffling up that energy. A little 1-2 simple combo, but could make the difference. If I had to guess, finding themselves an Archeops here. Archeops in hand, that means that is one step closer to the discard pile. And taking their time, I believe, also checking their deck. Again, we got to see the importance of checking your deck in the last game. You know, sometimes you can go to a 0-card hand a little bit more confidently, right? If you know you have a supporter prize, for example, means, you know, you have an out. Gonna find themselves an Archeops, gets a quick ball, finds themselves a Lugia, but again, going second, there is the risk your Lugia V-Star can get knocked out, so you definitely want to find yourself a second one. Again, judging from Istark's hand, it's gonna be tough to get that knockout. In fact, I don't quite think it's possible to get a Gust and double Archeops in this turn. Yeah, I don't think there is a way. So David should be fine here with one. But again, you don't know what your opponent is playing. You don't know what's in their hand. Definitely go for the safer play. We're going to see the Irida come up now. Irida, great addition to the Lugia V-Star decks. Just a great consistency card. Finds you a water Pokemon. Could be the Manaphy, could be the Luminion, as well as an item card. And here, you know what? That's all we needed. An item card. Now we have 2 Archeopses in the discard pile. 2 Lugias in play. Almost guarantees we should be able to V-Star sometime in the game. We're going to see the Heat Fire being attached now. Back to Istark. See the Ultra Ball here again. Istark doesn't have any Archeopses yet in the discard pile. Has a little bit more of an awkward hand here because it's going to be tough. Off the Marnie, they're going to need a double Archeops and a way to discard those 2 Archeopses. Discards the Aurora energy there, grabs the Archeops. So they could potentially attach a Aurora energy here just to get that discard. I think that's exactly what they're going to be doing here. And it's just going to be big rip off this Marnie. A lot riding on this Marnie here. They could get one Archeops. They could get one Archeops, but is it the right play? Big decision here for Istar. I'm curious as well. Again, if you don't do the Archeops route, if you don't get him right here right now, you're gonna have to find a second Lugia. or you could risk losing the one Lugia you have. Essentially, you're the player going second now if you don't V-Star here. But if you V-Star here, yes, you get the knockout or an Oranguru. Not the most ideal KO. And it leaves you open for that Archeops now to get Boss's Orders. Very, very tough decision. Very curious to see what Istark decides to do here. It looks like they're going to go ahead and Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball signifying they might be going for the Lugia V-Star here. I guess what could happen if they go Lugia V-Star? It's risky. If they find themselves Lugia V-Star and only one Archeops, looks like they're going to grab an Archeops. Okay, so they're going to go ahead and discard the Archeops to find a second Lugia V. It's going to be a pass, I believe. Yeah, it's going to be a pass. So now, technically, it's as if David was the first player. If David can get off the Lugia V, something he'd love to see is a Lugia V-Star plus a Gust, right? Get 2 prizes very, very early and just be ahead of the prize race that way. Istark actually expended a couple of resources just to get to this point. We know they're down 2 Auroras, right? There's one in the discard pile, one already attached to the Lugia. Gonna see the Primal Turbo now. They need to... Well, they can easily power up a Lugia and then just attach a DTE to the active. Let's see if they have a DTE in hand. They have an energy attachment for turn. There's a powerful. Do they have the Gust? If they don't have... You do see the Evolution Incense. That means second Lugia V-Star. Not too many easy KOs here for Istark. Do they have the Gust? There's the Boss's Orders on the Lugia V with the energy. David here takes the first 2 prizes. And I think he's in the exact position he wants to be. Istark here now does find the research. At least they don't have to play the little minion. If they could play the little minion, find themselves maybe Irida as well. Guarantees the Lugia V-Star. Looks like we're just going to go for the research. We do find the Evolution Incense there. But no Choice Belt. No Choice Belt, no way to get Amazing Rare Eviltal. Even if we did get Amazing Rare Eviltal, there's not that... We can't power it up. The Aurora energy and the Heat Fire energy are in hand. That means they cannot be accelerated. There's only one Aurora left in the deck, so there's no way to be able to take a knockout on this Lugia V-Star, which is absolutely huge. See the capture energy of V-Guard energy. V-Guard energy really proving its worth in the Lugia mirror here, because now forcing David themselves to find the Choice Belt. They don't find the Choice Belt here. They don't don't get a knockout either. Bench space is full. That means no way to get the Amazing Rare Eviltal. They could go for like a Gust onto an Archeops, for example. They just could, and then yeah, just go for a Gust on the Archeops. Maybe wait for this Lugia to get knocked out, then go to Amazing Rare Eviltal, just to guarantee you have a knockout. We do see the Marnie here. Is there a Choice Belt? See the Primal Turbo. If it goes to the active, that means there is a Choice Belt, because there is already one powerful energy. That means you only have to play 2 more plus the Choice Belt. Yeah, 2 more plus the Choice Belt. If it goes to the bench, looks like they are powering up the bench instead. 3 powerful energy. There's the Choice Belt. So they're opting to go with a fresh Lugia. Great play here. That's going to be 310 damage. Minus 30, 280. David now down to his last 2 prizes. Well, Istark still has to take all 6. Could be tough here. They do have the Gust, but their only attacker is going to be Archeops. And from there, how do you deal with a fresh Lugia V-Star? Again, not too many resources remaining here. We do see the Serena. It's going to be Speedwing taking the knockout on the Lugia V-Star. If it wasn't Dunsparce in play, David here could close it out, but I'm sure they're fine just taking this knockout here. Almost poised to win the game here. They just have to find a backup attacker for this Lugia just in case. There is still the window that the Radiant Charizard can take a knockout on this Lugia V-Star, something we've already seen in this game. However, I don't quite see it. There's no way to get Lugia V-Star. I don't think there's a way to get any other attacker. Gonna see the Aurora Energy now go on to the Dunsparce. We're gonna see here the biggest rollout in the late night series. Late rollout for 80 here, and David should be as easy as Tempest Dive for the knockout. With that, David is gonna David Hendrickson is going to be one of our late night number 80 finalists. Congratulations to David. Let's go ahead and check on the other side of the bracket again. I'm very, very, very interested in the other side of the bracket. Looks like Kobe Kawasaki takes a win over Zach Roy. Again, absolutely hilarious that 2 locals face each other in the semifinals of the late night series. And you know what? Let's go ahead and head over to the desk while I set up the next round. Again, absolutely amazing gameplay there. Something, you know what? As much as you know, we're used to the Lugia matchup by this point, it's always worth it to watch a Lugia mirror. As you know, as I have to admit, it's not the most interesting matchup in the world. Again, it's one of the 2 best decks in format, but you got to see the nuances there that really show how you can win in that specific scenario. And that's a matchup, if you're playing Lugia V-Star, 100% you have to be completely ready for, right? It's the best deck in format. A lot of players are going to be playing it. And yeah, let's go ahead and check here if we have... yeah, we're just going to wait on the finals match. Again, it's going to be Kobe Kawasaki against David Hendrickson. I believe Kobe is using Hisuian Gudra, Compe Hisuian Gudra. This is going to be an interesting one. It's not going to be a mirror. I do want to see how Kobe here is going to maneuver the Lugia V-Star matchup. We've seen that they've been able to take a win against Zach Roy, who was playing the Flying Pikachu Lugia V-Star, close to a... So they were able to take down a Lugia. Unfortunately, we weren't able to catch that game there. Again, I know Kobe Kawasaki. I was able to see them at the locals there in the Pacific Northwest. I know he's an absolutely amazing player. Definitely one of the people who definitely deserve to be in the finals of the late night number 80. While, give me 1 second. I believe David, if I remember right, he is either a finalist or already a champion of the late night. Give me 1 second. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting matchup for sure. Let me know down in the comments below, who do you think is going to win this matchup? Is it going to be Lugia V-Star? Is it going to be Hisuian Gudra? I think it's going to come down to if Lugia V-Star can put it into pressure, right? If Lugia V-Star can start taking a couple of easy prizes with the Stoutland V onto the comp phase. Because again, sometimes getting 7 cards into Lost Zone isn't the easiest thing in the world. And then from there, if you can take an amazing rare Eviltal knockout onto the Hisuian Gudra, that would be big. It's going to come down to those key turns, right? If you're able to take a knockout on Hisuian Gudra, if Hisuian Gudra is able to take a hit and then heal it off, if Hisuian Gudra takes multiple hits, that's the exact scenario you don't want to be in. Give me 1 second. But again, huge congratulations to all the players here at the late night, especially the players that made it here into Top God. Looks like we do have the game up and running. Best of luck to both players. Let's go. All right. Looks like it's gonna be. Sorry, I believe Kobe started us out. Apologies, I was fixing things in the background there. But either way, we're gonna see Kobe here get the Comfey and Radiant Greninja. They did get 1 card into the loss, so we're gonna see 1 more flower selecting. Again, name of the game is get to 7 to be able to power up your Hisuian Gudra. We do see the capture energy attachment out. Going on to the comp, he finds himself the Hisuian Gudra. Yeah, did he have another Comfey? Looks like it's just going to be a pass here on to David. Looks like, yes, I blinked and I missed it. David was the first player because they... No, they weren't. Sorry, it was Kobe. It was Kobe. I was just counting the hand there. We're going to see the attachment now into the Lugia. What do you find in this scenario? Like, what support Pokemon do you need for this Hisuian Gudra matchup? Again, you're going to need the Stoutland V for taking knockouts on Comfey. You could also go the amazing rare Raikou route to take multiple prizes. But what do you need in this early game? Do you find yourself the Oranguru, maybe? Get yourself a better hand, shuffle back in the Aurora Energy. You kind of don't want to discard. The Lugia V in the active should be in no danger of getting knocked out. Let me double check. Unless Kobe here is playing something interesting. Looks like Kobe here. 3-3 Hisuian Gudra. No other attacker besides Cramorant and Drapion. Again, Radiant Greninja could attack as well. So we're going to have to see here. Again, big decision. Looks like they're going to opt for a second Lugia V. Not opposed to that. They already had Oranguru in hand here. They're going to go for the Ultra Ball. They have lost Vacuum in hand. I think that's the... If there's a card to look out for, it's going to be that Lost Vacuum. Looking at Ice... Wait, let me double check. Let me double check. David, yes, David only plays 1 Lost Vacuum. So that's going to be a very, very important card. You definitely don't want to discard. It's just going to be a read the wind there, discarding the Oranguru. So the debate there was to use the Ultra Ball to find the Archeops, so you can read the wind a little bit more optimally, or you could play Serena, but the hand was too good. Like, you cannot afford to lose that Lost Vacuum, because that's your only way to get rid of Big Parasol. If you get a Hisuian Gudra with a Big Parasol and you don't have your Lost Vacuum, that means that Lugia is going to survive at least a turn, at least 2 turns, to be honest. You see here, Kobe does get the Chorus Experiment, discards the Raihan. 4 cards now into the Lost Zone. See the Flower selecting, going to 5, discards sends the Cramorant to the Lost Zone. Cramorant, again, not pretty good attacker to this matchup as well, since you're two-shotting Gudras, right? Sorry, you're two-shotting Lugia V-Stars. Cramorant's not a bad attacker if you miss the Gudra here. You're gonna see the escape rope come into play. Flower selecting. We do see the Gudra V-Star and the Mirage Gate. Just like that, that Gudra is almost ready to go. We're one attachment. There's the attachment. Do we have to switch? There's the escape rope. Kobe Kawasaki gonna be the first player to get damage up, as well as the Temple of Sinnoh. Definitely. Yeah, Temple of Sinnoh now. It's gonna be interesting. If David wants to take a knockout with Amazing Rare Eviltal, they're gonna have to go. They're gonna need to play Pumpkaboo as well, or use the Lost Vacuum they already have in hand, right? It's not out of the realm of possibility that David gets the knockout here. And we know Kobe is out there, the Cramorant, so getting a return KO is not the easiest thing. This is going to be the big turn, chat. We're going to see the Ultra Ball. They have to find a way, or they could play it conservatively. They could just find themselves an Archeops and just read the win once again. That's always an option. But this could potentially be a win. This could potentially be the win here. Again, we see here David just thinking about it. Attachment there, capture energy to the active. However, because of the Temple of Sinnoh, does not quite work there. Gonna see the quick ball finding the Eviltal. If they're going for the Eviltal this turn, they maybe should have used the Lost Vacuum first, just so that they can net the Eviltal that way, maybe thin out the deck with that quick ball. Quick ball there, discarding the Aurora energy. Gets a Dunsparce. I guess that. Here we go. This is the thinning, and we're going to see the Lost Vacuum. And this is it. There's the Luminion coming into play. Going for the Professor's Research. This is a very, very big Professor's Research. Off this research, David's going to need a way to discard Archeops and a Lugia V-Star. It's not there. I don't think I see it here. They're out the vacuum. They could get the Lugia V-Star, only get one Archeops into play. Start doing damage into the Gudra, but it's just going to be a Read the Wind here. Yeah, it's going to be Read the Wind. Back to Kobe. If Kobe can find themselves that big parasol, the Gudra's not going anywhere. Back to Kobe again. Does he set up a second Gudra in this situation? Is this one of those cases where it's one Gudra for the win? Looks like they're going for the boss's orders onto the Amazing Rare Eviltal. You know what? I'm not going to need my umbrella if there's no risk of rain, no risk of amazing destruction. That guarantees this Gudra should be able to live at least one turn here. Back to David again. Just have to say, Kobe playing it absolutely beautifully. We're gonna see the Ultra Ball now, double Archeops. Finally gonna see the Lugia V-Star coming into play. Again, Lugia V-Star doing very big damage here. Gonna see Summoning Star get themselves two Archeops. Again, Archeops with a primal turbo ability, able to accelerate energy from the deck. Let's see where they decide to accelerate to. I mean, it's going to be the Lugia. What are they going to accelerate? Like the V-Guard energy, a powerful double turbo is something they could accelerate now as well. Because they're three-shotting the Gudra V in the active. No way around it. It is going to be a three-shot. It's going to be one hit into a Moisture Star. And let's see. I believe it. Yeah, that's it. It's going to be a Tempest Dive. 190 damage. Big damage there. But again, Goodra V with the Moisture Star ability, able to say, you know what? That damage didn't happen. See the Chorus Experiment first. Again, they do need to get a second Goodra up at some point, because David will be able to deal with this Goodra. Yes, it's just going to take a while, but they should be able to deal with it. Ooh, interesting. Choice Belt in the Goodra. Very important card as well. Goodra only doing 220 damage. Not quite enough to take knockouts on Vs. Looks like we did see a Capture Energy being played there, but no Goodra V. Maybe signaling some Goodra Vs are prize. We're going to see a Rolling Iron not taking any prizes there. Things could get very dicey again. Kobe is out of their Cramorants. No Cramorant means no secondary attacker. Oh no. I think David here realizing something. Both Lugias now have 200 damage. Greninja on the bench could potentially go for a 4-prize swing here. Again, Mirage Gate able to accelerate 2 basic energies. Luckily, there are water energies in the Goodra V-Star deck, since that is a requirement for Goodra V-Star. So something they could do. It could be a 4-prize swing, but that means they could potentially lose their Goodra V-Star in return. We do see the Raikou threatening as well here. Very tough position for Kobe. Ooh, Temple of Sinnoh now being played. It's going to be Rolling Iron. So the Raikou can't quite attack. Max damage output for Lugia. What's the max damage output for Lugia? It's 220 minus 80. Should still be able to knock out this this Goodra. So tough spot here for Kobe. Again, no secondary attacker just yet. And Goodra in the active only having 80 HP remaining. Gonna see the V-Guard and the Heat Fire now come down onto the Lugia. It's gonna have to be the Lugia. Big Marnie here. Kobe has an absolutely huge hand. And again, they're looking for the Goodra V. Could be already in hand if they got it from the prizes. There it is. Tempest Dive for the knockout. Not only do they get rid of the stadium, they get rid of the Hisuian Goodra as well there. Things are looking very, very scary here for Kobe. Yes, they're 3 prizes away from winning the game. We're going to see the Chorus Experiment. What can they find? They need themselves another Goodra. Again, if they still had the Cramorant, if they still had access to the Cramorant, that is enough to take a knockout on this Lugia. However, that's the danger of playing a Lost Zone deck. Sometimes you're locking yourself access from some key components of your deck very early. Sometimes you have those decisions, right? Maybe it was a choice between a Cramorant or the lone Goodra in deck, for example, or maybe a Mirage Gate you didn't want to lose too early. We're going to see a Quick Ball now come into play. Finding a Goodra V. Goodra V can take this knockout. If they can get the Mirage Gate onto the Goodra. And the attachment for turn. That's actually just enough there to... Oh, more than enough to take a knockout on a Lugia V-Star. Is there a way to get a return KO? I believe with the Temple of Sinnoh as well, exactly what they needed. I was just about to say, all they need here is the Radiant Charizard, but they do have the Pumpkaboo as well. Things are getting very, very close here, ladies and gentlemen. Kobe Kawasaki down to 1 prize. We're going to see the Archeops being promoted here. Again, David in a position where I think he has to play the Pumpkaboo. He has to play the Pumpkaboo to get the Charizard out. By playing the Pumpkaboo, it opens you up to Radiant Greninja. Right? Radiant Greninja is a viable attacker. If there was a way for David here not to have to put the liability in play, I'm sure they would have done it. Gonna go ahead and Ultra Ball here. Find themselves the Radiant Charizard. Again, Radiant Charizard just has enough. 250 damage. Gudra V, I believe, after the second attack, does have effective HP of 250. So this should be just enough here. Gonna see the Aurora Energy being attached to the Radiant Charizard. Something of note as well. There is some debate. Oh no, but you can't attach the double turbo because you're gonna need to find a way to retreat the Radiant Charizard this next turn if you get one more turn to attack with Amazing Rare Raikou for the game here. It's gonna be a Combustion Blast, 220 damage, going down to 2. David actually has a very, very clear win. Amazing Raikou is going to take 2 prizes. We do see a big Parasol being played. There's the Hisuian Gudra and a Roxanne. Roxanne, great equalizer here, giving David two cards while Kobe gets the full 6. We're going to see the Mirage Gate. Mirage Gate into what? Do you go for the Greninja? Do you go for the game? Or do you power up the Hisuian Gudra? Looks like they didn't have it, and David takes the win. Coming from behind there. Again, Kobe Kawasaki able to take... Kobe Kawasaki able to take the lead in that game. Not something you see every day off the very, very slow Gudra Pokemon, right? But they were very aggressive with their Gudra V-Stars. I think losing the Cramorant, having a secondary attacker just is so important in this matchup. Again, you're two-shotting those Lugias, and I have a feeling maybe a couple of Gudras were prized there early on. Definitely a couple for sure. But let's see if Kobe can turn it around. We're now into the game 2 of the final here. David Hendrickson against Kobe Kawasaki. Looks like Kobe opening up with a Gudra V. Not the most ideal starter. Again, you do want to start those Comphase so you can start selecting those flowers. Kobe now, no shortage of Gudra V-Stars this time. Or Gudra Vs, excuse me. But it's just going to be a pass. No flower selecting this turn. Back to David. Just David. Again, name of the game for David is just find yourself a Lugia V. That's all you really need this turn. They're going to go ahead and find themselves an Archeops. They have 2 Archeops in hand. No Ultra Ball, though. Double Ultra Ball would have made this the perfect hand. Do you go for the Serena? Serena means you can discard a couple of cards. Draw up to 5. Could be risky. Multiple ways to get the Lugia V-Star, though. Capture energy, 4 capture... Well, how many captures? 3 capture energy, 4 quick ball, 4 ultra ball, and naturally throwing into the Lugia. Odds are you will find yourself that Lugia, but still could be very scary. They're gonna go ahead and attach the powerful energy now onto the Radiant Charizard. That takes out capture energy from the list of things that can. Ooh. Again, just like I was saying, it takes out capture energy as a list out of the list of outs there. And this just so happens to be exactly what we draw. Luckily, there might be no way here to get the knockout except through that Luminion. Luminion V can potentially hit Radiant Charizard for weakness, or if of course the Hisuian Gudra evolves into Hisuian Gudra V-Star, that should be enough to take the knockout. You're going to need 7 cards in the Lost Zone right here, right now, to be able to do that. There's the attachment. We're gonna need to see a switch and then multiple scoop up nets. It's gonna be a pass there, but there is time. We're gonna see a capture energy now being attached to the Radiant Charizard. That will net them the Lugia V-Star. They might be a world to start considering. I might need 2 here. And it's just going to be a pass back to Kobe. Again, Kobe, there is a window of opportunity. If they can find a Metal Energy, Hisuian Gudra V-Star, and we know for a fact they're playing the Choice Belt, they could gust up that Lugia V. No, it's going to be a Chorus Experiment instead here. And name of the game is just getting that Metal Energy. They had to manually attach to this Gudra. There's the escape rope. So the window of opportunity is still there here. Gonna see the Flower Cycling come off now, the Comfey. Again, all they need here is a Metal Energy, Hisuian Gudra V-Star, and the Choice Belt. Going into another Comfey. Sending out the switch. There's a quick ball here. What do they need off the quick ball? Cramorant just to get a hit into the Lugia is not bad as well. Again, something I'm sure he wanted to see a little bit earlier. We do see an attachment there onto the Comfey. There's a big Parasol coming in now, and the Choice Belt. 110 damage onto the Lugia V. Luckily that we are going to see the Lugia V-Star now. Summoning Star incoming. Expect to see a couple of Archeopses here. The big Parasol's already on the bench. There is some debate. You could use this Lost Vacuum now before you Marnie, or you could save it for later, just so you're not looking for it. Lost Vacuum, again, a lot harder to find. There's only one big Parasol, but again, that means you're out of the Lost Vacuum. We do see the Temple of Sinnoh, one Temple of Sinnoh already there onto the Lost Zone or discard pile as well. We still have the Pumpkaboo. Yeah, might as well. It is worth doing here. That is why the Lost Vacuum is there. Gonna go ahead and hit the Marnie here. Not the best hand, but we do have the Guru. Maybe try and net us a little bit more. We're gonna see the Primal Turbo here. Yeah, Primal Turbo able to accelerate 2 energies. Let's see. Interesting that they go ahead and attach to the Archeops. Again, just a little insurance there, so we can have a pivot. gets 1 prize. Stoutland V, not a bad Pokemon. Again, something you do want to hit in this matchup eventually. And we're going to see the flower selecting here. Kobe needs to find the answer, needs to find the Hisuian Gudra V-Star. We do see the Mirage Gate. Something they would love to see here is just, oh, there's a Hisuian Gudra. Do they have the retreat? There's a scoop up net. This Lugia is not, looks like it's going down. Do we, something that would be perfect. There it is, the Temple of Sinnoh. Hisuian Gudra rolling iron, 200 damage now, effectively a 350 HP behemoth. With the Temple of Sinnoh, forcing David here to find the Pumpkaboo, and they do have the Pumpkaboo, but they don't have the answer just yet. They don't quite have the answer to the Hisuian Gudra, so it's not... They want to attack, they have to play it here, right? If they want to be able to attack with a Radiant Charizard, for example, they have to play this Pumpkaboo. They do have a Gust in hand. They can deal with the Gudra on the bench. That is definitely an option. There it is, Pumpkin Pit, getting rid of the stadium. Those are the 2 outs. Something I do have to check. How many Temple of Sinnohs are remaining here for Kobe? Because we've seen the Lost Vacuum. We've seen the Pumpkaboo. I believe those are the only 2 outs to Temple of Sinnoh. So, all right, we're gonna see the Primal Turbo here, attaching a couple of powerful energies onto the Stoutland. So we might be seeing a double dip Fangs coming up shortly with the V-Guard energy. I think because of the V-Guard energy, that guarantees the Stoutland should be able to survive the turn. There it is, double dip Fangs on the Compe. David goes down to 3. That's a Laminion. Laminion, I'm sure, a Pokemon he is definitely loves seeing at the moment. So here, Kobe, to take a knockout on the Stoutland, he needs to find the Mirage Gate, another Gudra, an attachment for a turn, Temple of Sinnoh, and now a switch because he did promote this other Gudra V. Because unfortunately the Choice Belt is attached to the Gudra V without energy, and that hasn't evolved just yet. $200 damage now onto the Archeops and the Temple of Sinnoh. This is a tough spot. I think that was an absolutely amazing play here. Since you're not taking a knockout anyway on the Stoutland, might as well take a meaningful knockout. No more double dip Fang target here for Stoutland, but it can still attack. It can still do 200 damage with the Wild Tackle. Maybe potentially take a knockout on the Laminion. There is a window of opportunity here. We're gonna see the Laminion come into play. See the boss's orders. That's exactly what's gonna happen here. It's gonna be double dip Fangs onto the Laminion, go down to 1 prize, and maybe set up Lugia V-Star. All right. Okay, they do have the boss's orders. They will be able to attack. However, if they do attack with Wild Tackle, they will lose this Stoutland. There's the Lugia V. Here it is, Primal Turbo onto, again, there's onto the Stoutland. We're gonna see the Wild Tackle here for 200 damage, just enough to take a knockout on that Laminion. David goes down to 1 prize. They're essentially a gust away from winning this game here. Actually, they need a couple of things. Because there's only 1 Archeops and no DTE, Lugia can't attack. this next turn. Chorus here. I think all they need here is a gust. If they can find a gust, they should be able to close out the game. Scooping up the Radiant Greninja as well. I think pretty much guarantees it here. Rolling Iron for the knockout on the Stoutland. No easy one prize knockout. Both Pokemon 270 HP with the Temple of Sinnoh in play. That means there's no way. Yeah, there's no way to hit that damage threshold. And this Lugia V-Star, just like Lugia V, just like I said, with only one Archeops in play, the most amount of energy you can get is 3. We're gonna see a Primal Turbo here. We're gonna see the double turbo and the heat fire again, but because of the Temple of Sinnoh, that means there's only 3 energies on that Lugia. Unless I'm not seeing like a second Lost Vacuum. I don't think there's any other stadium. This Lugia is not attacking this turn. Well, it is. It can read the wind. Does Kobe have it? Boss's Orders wins him the game here. We're going to see the Ordinary Rod. Boss's Orders or Mirage Gate now wins him the game. We're going to see the Luminion and the Cramorant being shuffled back into the deck. There's the Mirage Gate. And just like that, that Goodra V on the bench is ready to go. Goodra with the belt. You have the switch as well. 230 damage. Kobe Kawasaki ties it up. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to a game 3 here tonight at the late night number 80. Kobe Kawasaki playing Goodra V-Star against David Hendrickson. Game 3. Absolutely electric here tonight at the late night series. A lot of Kobe supporters in chat right now. All right, here we go. David does get to go first. Hand is looking very, very comfortable. Colorful, excuse me. Opening up the Raikou. Raikou is a potential turn 2 attacker. You can take multiple prizes with that Raikou potentially. Might be the most ideal there, but this incoming Ultra Ball, not the easiest. Because you do need the Amazing Yveltal. You do need the Radiant Charizard potentially. You definitely need the Pumpkaboo. Looks like they're forgoing the Radiant Charizard. Find themselves the Lugia with the Irida in hand. That pretty much guarantees Lugia V-Star incoming. Incoming the next couple turns anyway. Again, just doing a quick prize check here, knowing what we have to work with. Still think that is a hallmark of a great player. And back to Kobe again. Opening up the Radiant Greninja. Probably at least a little bit better than opening up the Hisuian Goodra, right? Radiant Greninja can be Scoop Up Net. Only has 1 retreat, so with that capture energy... Yes, with that capture, you can find them the Comfy. Let's see what they opt to find, though. Again, Kobe here just doing a quick deck check as well. Again, find themselves the Comfey. See, first flower selecting of the game. They're gonna need to find themselves the Gudra here. There's a Chorus Experiment. That's gonna be 3 more cards in the Lost Zone. Luminion now hitting the Lost Zone. Just want to double check how much they play. Concealed cards now as well. That's a big hand. Second Comfey coming into play now. There's the escape rope. Lugia V now in the active. Something Kobe could do is hit it with a Cramorant. Let's get that early damage in. That could be very big. Although, hitting the Raikou with the Cramorant probably would have been better. Taking a prize there. Raikou does only have 110 HP. Do find the Gudra V. Something that could be very scary here is... Oh, Temple of Sinnoh as well. But still, something that could be very scary here is if they top deck into a Lugia V-Star. If they top deck into Lugia V-Star, they are free to use this Serena to deal with the 1 Gudra. Don't quite have it just yet, but they do have the Lightning, Speed Lightning Energy. Speed Lightning Energy is a special energy that can net you 2 extra cards. We're going to go ahead and use the Pumpkaboo here. Attach the Speed Lightning. Do they find the Lugia V-Star? No Lugia V-Star. Committing the Pumpkaboo very early there. Fortunately, not paying off. Oh, they also still needed a second Archeops as well, but if they only had 1, they still had the Serena play. Let's see here. I guess off this Arena doesn't guarantee 2 Archeops, right? Serena finds them 1 piece of the puzzle. Not quite there just yet. This quick ball, and we saw how debilitating it was only having one Archeops. That's something I'm sure David does not want to have to go through. Quick ball here could find the Luminion, potentially get a better supporter than this Irida. There's the Luminion, could find themselves a Professor's Research here. That means bye-bye to Amazing Rare Eviltal as well there. They are going to be able to get it here. There's the Evolution Incense for the Archeops. They do have a way to discard the Archeops as well, and they have the Lugia V-Star in hand. So they have the pieces here. They have the initial setup. However, just have to ask again, down 1 Pumpkaboo, down to Amazing Rare Eviltal. So the big Parasol not mattering as much. Ooh, big play here though. Amazing Rare Raikou all fired up. Again, amazing shot. Does 120 damage to the Comfey, as well as 120 to the bench. Looks like he's going to opt to take 2 prizes. Taking both Comfeys out of commission is going to be that much tougher to get into the 7-card Lost Zone. How many cards are there in the Lost Zone? They do have Radiant Greninja. Radiant Greninja can net them cards, but can't send things to the Lost Zone. We're going to see the Sujin Gudra now. Almost ready to go. They could attack here with the Cramorant. Again, as long as they have 4 cards in the Lost Zone, that is available to them. You see the attachment 4 turn. They're gonna need a second Hisuian Gudra or the Cramorant. There's 4 cards in the lost zone, exactly 4 there. To see the quick ball, they could still go into that config, go up to 5, find themselves another chorus. There's a switch. Where does it go into? Does it go into the config? Does it go into the Cramorant? Go straight into the Cramorant. There's going to be a spit innocently for 110 damage. Take a knockout on that Raikou. But now the Goodra is on the bench. Again, when you're on the... haven't been able to Rolling Iron just yet. That means they only have 270 HP. Something Lugia V-Star can very, very easily deal with here. You can see the Primal Turbo attaching 2 powerful energies. That Lugia is doing 260 damage with the powerful energy from hand. That is just enough. Boss's orders going on to the Goodra, and this should be Tempest Dive for 280, going down to the last 2 prizes here. David Hendrickson is essentially 1 boss's orders away from closing out the series. Back to Kobe again. Kobe needs, I believe, 2 more cards in the Lost Zone, so a Chorus Experiment should be able to do it, but they can't afford to bench something like a Luminion here. It has to be in the hand. We're going to see a Quick Ball. Quick Ball could find them another Comfey. That's going to be the last one. A couple of Boss's Orders hit the discard pile as well. Something you know, there's 2 Boss's Orders now in the discard pile. Could get very scary. Flower selecting once again. Sends a Metal Energy. We do see the concealed cards as well here. They're going through their deck. They need to find it. Chorus Experiment. That should put them over the limit, or over 7. Mirage Gate coming into play. Only the 1 water though. Looks like they are out a couple of energies. Looks like maybe they should have done the Ordinary Rod first before the Mirage Gate. Maybe they have the second one. There's the second Mirage Gate, so no harm, no foul there. Gonna see the Lugia V-Star. We have the retreat. There's the attachment 4 turn into the Cramorant. Spit innocently. Do we see the boss's orders? No boss's orders just yet. Things are looking very, very scary here. Spit innocently again. 110 damage on to that Lugia V-Star, excuse me. Again, they don't have the gust just yet, right? David here doesn't have the gust. But they are going to be able to take a knockout on the Cramp, go down to 1. That means they can gust eventually here. Unless Kobe finds a way to scoop up net both the remaining Pokemon. That means going down to the lone Goodra. To be the lone Goodra against 2 Lugia V-Stars. That might be a tough ask here. We see David here just thinning out the deck. They do have access to Luminion. There's 2 more boss's orders in the deck. There's the boss's orders. There is game next turn. We're going to see the Tempest Dive come out. Back to Kobe. Kobe has to find the Goodra V-Star, but even then, I don't think Goodra V-Star has enough staying power, even with the Moisture Star, to deal with 2 Lugia V-Stars. Although it could potentially here. We're gonna see the Chorus Experiment. Chorus Experiment is not a disruption. That wasn't Roxanne, so that boss's orders is here to stay. If Kobe can't find a way to pick up both Radiant Greninja and the Compe, could be over. There's one scoop up net. Concealed cards as well here. 7 cards left. Temple of Sinnoh, Rolling Iron for the knockout, but we do see here David has the boss's orders. Looks like didn't get punished for leaving space for the Luminion for sure. And they do get the attachment on the Lugia. There's the boss's orders on the Radiant Greninja. With that, David is our late night number 80 champion. Congratulations to David. Very, very close game here from both players. I was definitely at the edge of my seat. Let's go ahead and head back into the desk here. Whew, what a game. Not gonna lie, I was at the edge of my seat. Both players playing it absolutely well. Again, just a couple of pieces missing from Kobe's side of the field from being able to still being in the game, right? They had another scoop up net. They could buy themselves one more turn, but again, it is still an uphill battle. David absolutely playing it massively, putting himself in the best position to win with double Lugia V-Star. I really like the early Pumpkaboo with to be able to attach the Speed Lightning Energy just for those extra cards. And looks like it did play out very, very well. Again, congratulations to David. Lugia V-Star, once again, champion of the late night number 80, putting David that much closer to the trip, to the paid trip to Yokohama, Japan. All right, with that, that's gonna be it. Again, guys, if you like what you saw here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below. Definitely check out all our amazing sponsors as well. Again, my name is PrimeTimeWizardTv from the Shuffle Squad.